Good afternoon, our viewers. I want to welcome you once again to today's Empowerment Academy. My name is Adesola Samson Ojo, and today, by the grace of God, we want to encourage ourselves on the topic discouragement. But before I go into that, we started our episodes on focus. And from focus, we went straight onto ambition. We look at different concepts and different topics and subtopics, both under focus and ambition. It's just because we are going somewhere. And when you are going somewhere, there are different things that will transpire, in the course of your moving from one place to another. But today, we want to start another series. And that series is titled Discouragement. So today we are going to look at the broad subject on the topic discouragement. And from next episode, we are going to be looking at different topics under it. But today we are going to look at the meaning of the concept and a few things that surround the meaning of the concept. So today I want to start by defining the word discouragement. I want to start from the practical experience that we all have or have been having. Discouragement is something that, we talk about, practically speaking, all the time. Many a times we set ourselves on the course of doing something wonderful, something good, something, great, something that will make us excited, something that will benefit our lives. I believe there is nobody that wants to do something that won't benefit him or her. So everything that we set our minds to do, I believe there are things that will benefit us either now or in the future, and that will benefit everyone around us. But sometimes in the course of us achieving it, like we have started talking about goals and ambition, we have talked about visions, many a times, we just don't want to proceed because of one thing or the other. Maybe we get discouraged because of something that happened or something that is not available. Different factors can cause that. So, but we still need to move on. Yeah, we still need to move on. So, we want to look at the word discouragement. How can we overcome discouragement, and how can we, set ourselves on motion, in spite of whatever is around us trying to discourage us. So, what I want to talk about today is just to talk about the meaning of discouragement. When we talk about discouragement, I look at different schools of thoughts, and I look at the practical experience that we have around us, and I come to the understanding of this. Discouragement is the feeling that you no longer have the confidence or the enthusiasm to do something. Discouragement.
Go ahead, sir.
Discouragement is a feeling that you no longer have the confidence or the enthusiasm to do something.
Don't be discouraged. Go ahead.
And that is from Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. So when we look at this, a feeling that you no longer have the confidence or the enthusiasm to do something. So that means it's an action that of trying to stop you from doing something, or something, a thing that makes you feel less confident about doing something. Can you see that? There are some things that I want us to note there. I call them key drivers. Key drivers. From the word courage, when you look at the meaning of courage itself, so it's the mental and moral strength to venture, to proceed doing something, even in the presence of challenges. You have that moral and the mental and the moral and the physical, strength, motivation, to venture into doing something, if in spite of any challenge that is around you. So when you say discouragement, that word DIS, this, it means removal or taking away. So that means that moral strength, that mental ability, that moral, the moral strength, the mental ability is being taken off. So that means what you can do before, what you are excited doing before, what interests you to do before, you can no longer do it. You can no longer do it. So discouragement is a very big word, that has a lot of meaning. But like I said, there are three things that I want us to look. I call them key drivers from that definition of discouragement, which I said is the feeling, that you no longer have the confidence or enthusiasm to do something that you have set on course to do before. So the first thing I want us to look at is that, it's a sense of loss. You no longer have, it's a sense of loss. What you have confidence to do before, now you no longer have the confidence to do it. You see, you have lost it. So that's the first driver I want us to note. Loss. You no longer have, which means previously you had it, but now you no longer have it. Now, the second key driver I want us to look at is the word confidence itself. When I look at confidence, from the literal meaning of the confidence is the quality of being certain of your ability. That's confidence. When you say you have confidence in something, that means, it's a quality that you are very certain that you have this thing and you can do this thing. You have a little doubt about yourself. You have a little doubt about your ability, what you can do. It's a quality of being certain of your own ability to do something very well. That's confidence. That's confidence. But when you become discouraged, so that means that ability that you have, that confidence you have before, that quality of being able, that quality of being certain of your ability, you lose it. It's taken away. You had it before, but now it's been lost. The third key driver I want us to look at is the word enthusiasm. Enthusiasm, which is a feeling of energetic interest, in a particular activity, and an eagerness. It's a feeling of energetic interest in a particular activity and an eagerness to be involved in that particular activity. There is an activity that you have interest in. That inner strength, that inner energy, that you have to do that particular activity and the eagerness to do it. That's what we mean by enthusiasm. So when you become discouraged, that means this previous attribute, this previous quality that you have before, the quality of being certain of what you can do, the quality of having an eagerness, to do something that you like doing. Those qualities, what happens is you lose them when you become discouraged. There might be different things that set you to becoming discouraged. That's not what we're looking at now. But I want you to just grasp what the meaning of discouragement is. That when you become discouraged, you have lost a lot of things, and that is why many a times whatever has come as a challenge, it knows what it's trying to do. If you submit to it, you are going to lose more than you think you have lost. You are going to lose more than you think you have lost. Now, note this. When you become discouraged, I want you to note this. You will discover that you have lost your motivation. You have lost your motivation. Like I said, that confidence you have in yourself, of your own ability, the strength that you have, that's taken away. That's excitement, that eagerness of doing something that interests you is being eroded. You see, so before you realize it, you lose motivation. You lose your motivation. You become negligent. You become downcast. You lose focus. When you lose your motivation, you lose your focus. You become negligent. You lose your ambition. You lose your dreams. Before you realize it, you begin to procrastinate. Before you realize it, it's like you drying up. When a tree or a stem begins to dry up, what it means is, the water inside that makes it, alive. That was what we call it sap. That means it's drying up. And when it begins to dry up, what happens? Once it's completely dry, it's no longer a tree, it's no longer a stem, it becomes a log of wood. And what do they do with a log of wood? They cut logs and they use them to make fire. They will cut it and they use it to make fire. So when somebody becomes discouraged and you lose your motivation, it's a gradual process. It's a gradual process. If there is no positive intervention and you continue to do it like that, and you continue to go like that, before you realize it, you go down. I don't pray that for you, but what I'm saying is a long process. It doesn't happen in a day. It's like I said, a tree, losing its sap, losing its water. By the time it completely loses it takes a long time before it dries up. But once it's completely dried up, it becomes a log. And what do? They cut it, use it to make fire. So I want you to be very careful and to understand this concept very well, so that from today you can pick up your courage, you can pick up your confidence, and you can pick back up your enthusiasm. So when you become discouraged, that means it means you are losing your confidence in your ability, and you are losing you are losing your confidence in the power of your eagerness, the enthusiasm, to do something that you are able to do, an activity that interests you before, you lose interest in it. It's something just took it away. It's been eroded. I want you today, by the time you hear this message, that you have a thought again that being discouraged means losing a lot. That's exactly the mission of this message today. Being discouraged means what? Losing a lot. And I said, when you become discouraged, number one, you lose your motivation. You lose your motivation, you lose your focus. When you lose your motivation, that means the focus is lost. You become less ambitious. Your dreams are lost. You begin to lose to become negligent. And when you continue to become negligent, you begin to procrastinate. What you need to do at a point in time, you begin to push it away because you are losing positive interest. And before you know it, like I said, inside of you, that grace, that ability begins to dry up, and like stem or tree, when it's completely dry up, what happens? Becomes a log. And when you lose your sap, what do they do with the log? They use it to produce fire. Now, the second thing is, when you become discouraged, what happens is you are losing your expectation. You are losing your expectation. When we look at the literal meaning of expectation, it's a strong hope or belief that something will happen, that you will get something that you want. When you are expecting something, you have a strong hope that something is going to happen, that you are going to get something that you desire to get. That is an expectation. But when you become discouraged, you lose that sense. That sense of expectation is lost. Don't forget, I said when you become discouraged, you lose your motivation. Secondly, when you become discouraged, you lose your what? Expectation. That strong desire, that strong hope that you have, that strong belief that you have, that something you are hoping for, you will get it. You lose that sense. You lose that feeling. You lose that, that urge is lost. Number three, when you become discouraged, you change your communication. Your communication will change. What I mean is this, when we look at the meaning of the word communication, is impacting or exchanging information either by speaking or by using other medium. It can be verbal, it can be non-verbal, using your attitude or using other gestures. It can be by writing. So what I'm saying is this: when you become discouraged, you change your communication. For example, you change your communication from positivity to impossibility. From positivity to negativity. You change your communication from being hopeful to hopelessness. You change your communication from being meaningful to meaningless. You change your communication from ability to inability. You change your communication from possibility to impossibility. What I'm saying is this: when you become discouraged, anything that is positive turns to what? Being negative. Anything that is possible turns to being impossible. You change your communication. Anything that is very meaningful becomes meaningless. You change your communication. That is when you become discouraged. I want you to know that. So anytime you realize that you are losing your motivation, you are losing your expectation, and you are changing your communication from positivity to negativity, from meaningful to meaningless, from ability to inability, from possibility to impossibility, from hopeful to hopelessness. I want you to be, to take, to have a personal reflection. Sit down and have a personal reflection. Don't forget, I said when somebody is becoming discouraged, you lose your what? You lose your confidence, you lose your enthusiasm, that ability, that power, that belief, that urge, that eagerness that you have, that makes you to do what interests you, that's gone, that's become withdrawn. So I want you to note this. And number 4, the fourth drive that I wrote here: when you become discouraged, eventually you become withdrawn, you resign, you become withdrawn, you give up. You believe change will require too much effort, and you cannot see meaning, you cannot see any hope that change will surely come. You become withdrawn, you lose it, you become completely dry up. Yeah, what I'm trying to talk about now is when you become discouraged, what are those things that will alert you that you are getting discouraged? Number 1, I said you will lose your motivation. You will lose your motivation. You become what? You become downcast. You lose that sense of being focused. You become what? Less ambitious. You lose your dreams. The secondly, I said when you become discouraged, you lose your expectation. You lose that strong desire and hopes and belief that something that you are expecting to happen, that you believe will happen, that you believe will happen, that you get, you lose that sense, you lose that feeling. When you become discouraged, that sense of expectation, you lose it. Number 3, when you become discouraged, you change your communication. You change your communication from good to bad, from positivity to impossibility, negativity, and from meaningful to meaningless, and from ability to inability. Everything turns negative instead of being positive. That's, you change your communication, either verbally or non-verbally. Everything just changed. Your orientation changed. And number 4, when you become discouraged, you become withdrawn. You finally resign because you are believing that hope, it will require a lot of effort for hope to come, and that definitely hope is not coming. But that is not the case. That is not the case. There is something I want you to note. There is something I want you to note, that there is a good news. There is a good news. And what is that good news? That hope, there is hope. There is what? There is hope. There is hope. For example, let me give you an example. When you cut down a tree now, as long as that tree is still having a storm in the ground, and that tree is still receiving fresh air, receiving dew from heaven, receiving water from heaven, it's a matter of time. What will happen again? That storm will sprout again. Will sprout again. The fact that you have your life, and the fact that you have the medium by which you can still hear this message, by which you can still hear messages from left and right, from every corner, it shows that there is still what? There is still hope. It shows there is still hope. It shows you still have hope. This afternoon, I've been talking about discouragement, and we've spoken about what discouragement means, literally. And we said it's a feeling that you no longer have the confidence or the enthusiasm to do something. You no longer have the confidence or the enthusiasm to do something. which means an action of trying to stop something, a thing that makes you, feel less confident about doing something, And I said there are 4 key drivers I want us to see there. But before I go into those 4 key drivers, I said, starting from the word courage itself. Courage, itself means a mental and moral strength to venture, to proceed doing something that you want to do. So when you become discouraged, that means, that moral and mental, strength is taken away, from you, which means what you can do before, you cannot do it again. That's this discouragement, discourage. And I said there are 4 drivers there. The first one is lost. Because what you can do before, you're no longer able to do it. The second one is confidence. The third one is enthusiasm. Now, what do I mean? Loss, a sense of loss means what you are able to do before, you cannot do it again. You no longer have the confidence to do it. Number 2, the confidence itself. Now, when you look at the word, meaning of the word confidence, is the quality of being certain of your ability. So that means God has endowed you with an ability that is peculiar to you. There is no one that doesn't have peculiarity. There is no one that doesn't have no inner strength. You have your strength. You have a measure of your strength. So when we are talking about confidence, is that feeling, that quality, of certain of what you can do, your own ability. So when you become discouraged, you lose that ability. You see, you lose that ability. And we still have the word enthusiasm, which is a feeling of energetic interest in a particular activity. So when you become discouraged, you lose that enthusiasm, you lose that energetic interest, you lose it. Now, and we spoke about when you become discouraged, what are those things that you will notice? The first one, we said, you will discover that you are losing your motivation. You are losing your motivation. You have become less focused, less ambitious, procrastinating. You're losing your dreams. Before you realize it, you dry up, because it's a gradual process. And secondly, you discover that you are losing your expectation. You are losing that strong hope, that strong beliefs that something will happen, that you will get something that you want. You lose that ability. You lose that and that strength. Number 3, you change your communication. Your communication will change from positivity to negativity. You won't see anything possible anymore, but you begin to see impossibility. You won't see anything good again, but everything will turn what? Bad. You won't see anything meaningful again. Everything will turn meaningless. When you begin to notice that, you have to what? You have to have a self-reflection. And number 4, you begin withdraw. You notice that you are what? You are withdrawn. You resign. You give up because you thought there won't be any hope anymore. And if at all, if any hope will come, it will take a lot of time, a lot of energy. So instead of you to proceed, what you do, you just withdraw, you resign. When you begin to notice that, you need to sit down, have a self-reflection, have a self-thought, think about the past, think about your strength, think about your past achievements, celebrate those past achievements. By the time you think about the past achievement, you think about the strength you have, and you begin to celebrate your past achievement. You begin to have a spark of what? A spark of courage, a spark of hope. You begin to, it's just like a spark of fire. Because when you think about your past ability, your past achievement, you think about your strength, and you begin to celebrate your past achievement. Before you realize it, there will be like a light, at the end of the tunnel. Something will spark inside of you. Something will begin to what? Begin to celebrate you. Yourself. And you begin to discover that things, will begin to change. Things will begin to change. Now you start to have meaning in what was meaningless to you. Instead of you thinking negativity, now you begin thinking about what? Positivity. Because you now begin to see meaning in life. You begin to see meaning in yourself. Now you begin to believe in yourself because you remember your past achievement. And now because you are celebrating your past achievement, you will want to do more. Before you realize it, that interest will spark up in you again. It will spark up in you again. And before you realize it, life will begin being excited, being excited to you again. I don't know the position you are today, and I don't know what you are passing through. I don't know what your desire is, and I don't know what exactly you are doing at the moment. But I want to become. I want to encourage you today. Whatever goal you are doing before, whatever you lay your hands upon, and you think because of one thing or the other, you are trying to put a stop to it, or you become to and you begin to become withdrawn. I want you to have a pause, have a self-thought, have a self-reflection. Am I not being discouraged? Have I lost that sense of confidence? Have I lost the quality, that quality of believing in myself, that quality of excitement, eagerness to do what I wanted to do? Have I lost it? Have I lost my motivation? Have I lost my dream? Have I changed my communication? Have a self-reflection. Think about it. And I believe by the time you have a self-reflection on that, you begin to see where you are and where you belong. And whatever the case may be, I want you to consider your strength, the strength you have. Celebrate your achievement. Celebrate your achievement. I want to say it again. Celebrate your past achievement. Think about it. Be happy about who you are. And I believe by the time you do this, things will begin to change. There are a number of things I have here, but because of our time, for our next episode, we shall be discussing about it. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I believe you have gained one or two things. And until I meet you again in the next episode, stay encouraged, stay focused, and stay ambitious. Thank you very much.
ọkàn mi ìyọba ọ̀run mú ọrẹ wá sọ́dọ̀ rẹ wọ̀tàwó sàn dádáríjì tálàbà ayíǹbì rẹ.